What's up, guys? Welcome to the Walk On Warrior podcast, where we prepare young student athletes for next level success. I am your host, Coach Z. And listen, I've got a really good topic for you guys today, and it's definitely an opportunity, and it could make or break whether you get an opportunity or the other person over here that a school is looking at bringing in. And I want to bring in, and I want to talk about what's called the eye test. So what is the eye test, Coach? Listen, college coaches at the next level, they like bigger, faster, and stronger student athletes. They want to go in, they want to see you in person, and want to see a guy that looks physically impressive or imposing, especially in certain positions. If you're an offensive, defensive lineman, or you're a tall receiver, or you're a running back that's got good hips, good shoulders, or a linebacker that's big and thick. Listen, a coach is rolling the dice on bringing players in recruitment. It shows the coach a lot about who you are and your character, at least from a physical standpoint. So basically, for me, as you guys might already know, maybe you don't, it's the first time you're on the podcast. I've been a collegiate coach, recruiting coordinator, as well as a strength coach for over a decade. And this is something that a coach, listen, when they walk in and they see a guy that looks the part, they are going to get that peak interest, and they're going to stay on top of you through this recruiting process. Now, you could underwhelm a coach if a coach comes in to just fill a database and say, hey, coach, who do you have here at this high school? Bring him in here. I want to meet him. If you walk in there and you don't look the part, or you look like everybody else, I mean, you're just going to be like that. You're going to be like everybody else. You need to stand out in front of a crowd. You want to be that 1%. Now, how do you do that from a physical standpoint? You put the work in the offseason. I don't know how many times I can tell people, these young student athletes this. In the weight room, that's where you're going to get bigger, you're going to get faster, and you're going to get stronger for the most part. Now, I understand there's some guys that develop late, but you got to understand this recruiting process goes fast. If you don't put the extra work in, don't push those girlfriends and all those things aside and do your part in the offseason, right? And a coach comes in and recruits you, he's not probably going to tell you that's why he's not going to bring you in or give you an opportunity. But chances are, if they are bringing you in and you ask them, they'll tell you, you look the part. You're not a drama player. You're somebody that will go above and beyond when you're outside of being around me as the coach, right? Whether it's, academics, all this stuff, you have good character off the field, and you're going to go and do more than what we are asking you for. It's a gamble. Recruiting is a gamble. Coaches don't really know, even if they do offer you, they don't know what they're going to expect when you come onto the campus. However, you're checking off all these boxes to give a coach an opportunity to say, yes, that's my guy. So when you walk in that front door and a coach says, hey, I want to see you, you come and see him, and boom, you look physically imposing. Dude, it is such an opportunity, and coaches will recruit you and stay on top of you through this process because of that, especially based on your position. Now in college, so going through high school for me, I didn't lift much weights. I didn't have good mentors, and they definitely didn't know all this stuff for me. And so that could have been, one of those reasons why I didn't get recruited at all levels. Now, when I ended up getting an opportunity and I was a walk-on at Utah State, I made the best of that opportunity. Remember, when you get on campus your freshman year, you're no longer a senior in high school anymore. You can't just get away with whatever. You come on that campus, your stars are gone, and now you're around guys that have been in a program and off-season programs, for 3 or 4 years. They're going to be bigger than you, stronger. They're going to bully you. The sport of football is very aggressive, right? It's very active. You're going to get banged up. You have to physically be ready to go. You got to have muscle. You got to have size. You got to have strength. If you do not have that, you're going to get ran over, and it's going to take you longer to get on the field. You know as well as I do, you want to get on the field right away. Coaches typically tell you, we're bringing you in to get you on the field, but they just can't. If you don't physically have the aspects of getting you on the field, which is muscle, size, strength, all that kind of stuff. The good news is when you do get to a program at the next level, you have access to all of that, but we're not even at that point. This podcast is all about telling you right here, right now, what you need to do to get added interest. Now, hopefully you're a junior, sophomore, or maybe even younger than that. But even if you're a senior and the season has started, it's August right now, just understand that while you're going through season, you should be lifting weights. And if you're not signing anywhere, you should still be lifting weights in the winter all the way into the spring. Make up for lost time, make up for the ground that you missed, okay, through this whole process. But you need to look the part, because listen, I'll tell you right now, if all of a sudden a coach is recruiting one of your players and you walk through the door with him, the coach sees you outshine him physically, coach is going to be like, holy smokes, who is that? And then the introduction happens, and then the recruiting process happens. They'll even ask you what you do. You tell them everything that you do in the weight room. I don't care if you go and you get a personal coach or anything like that. Coaches love that. And if you are what you are off the field, on the field during the season, a coach will definitely open that door to recruit you through this process. So you have to look the part. So I'll explain one more time. The eye test is me as a coach recruiting you, seeing the physical nature of who you are, to say, listen, this guy knows what he's doing in the off season. So when he comes here, he's the bigger, the faster and stronger guy. So we're, as a team, are going to be better. We're going to be stronger, and we need more guys like that. A lot of leadership, you can see a lot from a kid from a leadership standpoint, as well as character, based on how they physically look, right? You see somebody that walks through the room, if they're somebody that lifts weights or not. They got a big neck, big shoulders, big hips, all that kind of stuff. So it's really important that you guys get yourself in the weight room, you bust your butt. A lot of schools have off-season programs, but not a lot have really good off-season programs. And I'm not really worried about that as a strength coach. I'm looking for guys that are going to go get in there, and master your core lifts, and then just figure it out as you go if you have to, right? Your curls, your overhead presses, your rowing, right? Your lunges, all those different things. Your body, when you're a young student athlete, is going to develop regardless, no matter what. Some guys, it takes time to develop. I was an undersized guy, and there's plenty of undersized, athletes out there, but you will develop physically, and it gives you, it helps you prepare for the next level as well, because it's a grind at the next level. You're 12 months all year round, no matter what you're doing. So you physically have to be good to go. And then also, it also will tell you and help you when it comes to injuries or getting dinged up and so on, because it is a physical sport. Your ligaments, tendons, bruises, everything's going to happen. So to prevent injuries, it's also a great thing as well, or at least, lower the percentage of having injuries. When I went through college, I actually was blessed enough, because of my hard work and dedication in the off season, I did not have any injuries. And still to this day, I work out and lift and bust my butt. I don't have any aches and pains and so on. And I was fortunate enough to not have those issues. And that will happen in many cases. But you want to be, as a football player, the most aggressive, the strongest player out there, to be a bully and push guys around. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, you want big hits. You want to be able to get guys down. If you're on the offensive side of the ball, if you're a receiver, you want to be faster and get off the ball and be able to muscle those defensive backs, especially with your O-lineman. Your job is to be a professional mover and to engage with guys, have good technique, but to be able to drive and get them out of the way. So, with this eye test a couple of years ago, New Mexico State walked to the front door and was recruiting some of our guys. Had no idea who this kid was, and he was asking me. I said, "So, what position looking for?" "We're looking for safeties." I said, "I got a guy right over there." He said, "Holy smokes, who is that guy?" And one of our guys, ended up being 6'1", almost 6'2", which is outrageous at that position. But when he came to us, he was only about 160 pounds. But when he was getting recruited 2 years later, he was 180, 190. And so right then and there, the dialogue started. So if you pass the eye test, it's definitely going to give you a leg up on your competition when it comes to getting recruited. So I encourage you young student athletes to pass that eye test. Okay. And I'm going to reiterate it one more time. The eye test is when a coach comes in and a coach sees you, and physically what they see is what they want, and that's what they're going to get. And it will make or break whether or not you get that opportunity at the next level. Listen, follow, like, share, subscribe, Walk On Warrior here on YouTube. Go to walkonwarrior.com. I got free strategy sessions, about 30 minutes, help you jumpstart your recruitment, and give you more of a roadmap of what you should be paying attention to, some tips and tricks, and so on and so forth. You also can keep working with me beyond that. I got a course out that will go over everything in this whole recruiting process. I'm in the works of finishing a course in regards to highlights and setting your highlights to be the most dialed in to the process. I got a writing effective emails course that's coming out. Got a lot of good stuff that's getting ready to come down the pipe. And so listen, go follow me on Instagram as well as Twitter. And listen, I'm telling you right now, the process is fast. You need as much knowledge as you possibly can. And if you're not getting it from your coaches, which chances are you're probably not, come to Coach Z here at Walk On Warrior. We've got everything that you're going to need in the process. And I always like to end these podcasts this way. It's not about me, Coach Z. It's about you young student athletes. We'll see you on the next podcast.